He taught me things that have not been taught before. And he told me one day I would always carry a notepad with me to jot down notes as he spoke. But most of his teaching to me was when he was driving. He loved to drive, and he would drive out on the desert, up in the mountains. And one day we were in the city driving around, and I was writing notes as he talked. And he said, "Brother, I want you to put that pad away and don't take any more notes. Because some of the things that I tell you, I don't want it to get in the hands of the devil. And I don't want you to speak of it unless you hear me speak of it first." He says, some of the things that I tell you, it won't be ready for you to be speaking on until 10, 20, maybe 30 years. He said that the reason I want you to close the book that you're writing in is because I couldn't write when the Savior was teaching me, because I had a third grade education and my writing wasn't that good and I couldn't keep up. So the Savior taught me how to remember. And I'm going to teach you how to remember.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So he said, from now on, as I teach you these things, don't try to understand as I teach you, because your mind will drift away and you will miss most of the things that I teach. He said, your mind is like a tape recorder. If you listen and don't try to interpret what I tell you as I speak, it will all come back to you later. All you have to do is, like a tape recorder, play it back. You can take your mind and go back and play whatever you want to of what I tell you. And he said that we're going to drive outside of the city because the devil tuned in on my car. And he told me about the devil having the knowledge on how to tune in with his electronic equipment. And he also said that the devil even tried to tune in on my sleep at night to see if my snoring, any wisdom is in that.
Yes, sir. Yes.
But anyway, he taught me. Every Saturday evening after dinner, I would have to sit with him and go over the subject that I was going to teach on Sunday. And after the meeting, I would bring the tape and set it up at dinner, and after dinner, play the tape. And he would listen to it and see if I made a mistake or said something that he told me not to say. Several times I made the mistake of saying something that he told me not to say. But when we went over our speech the night before, and he told me the wisdom behind some of the things, and he said, now I don't want you to mention this now, because they don't need to know that. And if I said anything about it, then he said, brother, I told you not to mention this. And a verbal whooping from the messenger is worse than any whooping you could get from a father. You don't make the mistake but a couple of times, and then you know better. But anyway, after being with him for over 3 years, he sent me back to Los Angeles. But I want to bring this in. The messenger was in Phoenix because of his health. He had a severe case of bronchitis. And it was very, very threatening. And he wanted to get away where he wouldn't have to be bothered by others or people continuing to come in to see him. During that time, he got severely sick, where we had to put him and keep him under an oxygen tent. He didn't want to go to the hospital. He had the doctor to bring all the equipment and set it up there at the house. Many people think that Messenger was never sick or anything. But we would sit there, Sister Clara Muhammad and myself, night in and night out, with him. And his breathing became such that we would sit there hoping that he'd make another breath. Many of you never know how a person breathes when they're on the verge of death. It's a long breath, and then in between, there's nothing. And then you listen for the next breath. And I would be sitting there beside Sister Clara Muhammad and look at her, and tears would be running down her eyes. And then tears would be running down my eyes. So one night, when we thought it was going to be over, the messenger, he pulled the oxygen mask off his face. He said, "What are y'all crying for? I'm not dead yet. Wait till I die." And Brother Nathaniel, his son, came to be with him. And we had a 1-hour prayer service for all the temples throughout the country. We sent word to all of them that we were going to have a prayer for 1 hour. And we did. I would pray for a while. Brother Nathaniel would pray. And we went back and forth for an hour. And then he told me, the messenger told me one day, he said, a few days after that he felt much better, that the prayer service helped. And he said, now, I want you to go to the airport and pick up a doctor that is coming in from Miami. And he's going to be with me for 7 days, and I don't want anybody to bother us. So I went to the airport and I picked him up, brought him to the house. And for 7 days they were there. And on the 7th day he called me and said, come on in, brother, I want you to take the doctor back to the airport. And the messenger looked as if he hadn't been sick a day in his life. So I did what he told me. And later, after, I got to thinking who this doctor really was. I know some of you are going to think whatever you want to think. But I do believe it was Master Farad Muhammad.
Yes, sir. Wow.
I didn't think it at that time because he told me a doctor was coming.
Yes, sir.
And I never could put the two, but he looked just like Master Farad Muhammad.
Yes.
But he looked heavier. His face was full, and he looked like he was weight a little bit more than the picture you see of him.
Wow.
But Sister Clara Muhammad used to tell me that he calls every now and then, and she know his voice
Yes, sir.
as soon as she pick up the phone. And she would take it straight to the messenger. So people don't understand the strong relationship the messenger had with Allah. The relationship I had with the messenger. And I'm telling you this because I want you to know that I'm not an up-jump lady.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And the messenger didn't teach me to be a leader. He taught me from the beginning to be a leader. When he made me a minister, he made me a leader.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When he made me the Western Regional Representative over 14 states, he made me a leader.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When he made me his national representative, he made me a leader.
Yes, sir.
Praise God.
I'm not asking anybody to accept me as a leader because you can't make me no leader.
True, true.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad had already made me what I am.
Yes, sir.
And I can't be nothing else but what he made me.
That's true. That's right.
So you could argue out there about what I've done. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad made it plain that I was his national representative.
Yes, sir.
And that he would pray to Allah that he would bless me, that I was spreading the truth throughout the country.
Yes, sir. That's true. Yes, sir.
And you have it on record on the letter that is out there on the internet. But if you don't want to accept that, you don't want to accept the messenger.
That's true.
And if you don't want to accept the messenger, you don't want to accept God.
That's right.
About
Time is too short. Find me a minister out there that has more teachings, more experience, more qualifications that I have, and I'll follow him. I'm only trying to do what the messenger sent me to do,
that's right.
That's right.
to represent him.
Yes, sir.
I'm not representing myself, I'm just giving you a brief rundown of pardon me, who I am and what I've done. Excuse me. Get a smell of life.
Yes, sir. Take your time.